Every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let's join hands with ICPC, make them better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they want you.
Come on, and for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Hello viewers, and welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. Following the success recorded in Phase 1 and 2 of the constituency and executive projects tracking exercise conducted in 28 states of the Federation in 2019 and 2020, ICPC has begun the implementation of the third phase.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Phases 1 and 2 had so far led to the recovery of assets worth billions of naira to the government. It also led to the return of equipment to communities from whom they were meant. Also, about 300 contractors returned to sites and completed shoddily done or abandoned projects. As in the previous exercises, the focus of the third phase is on priority sectors of agriculture, education, power, health and water resources. Today on the program, we bring you highlights of the exercise. I am your host, Hawa Sani Garba. But first, Joy Aja is standing by with updates on happenings around the Commission. Over to you, Joy.
Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. I am Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. ICPC is set to partner with Public Complaints Commission (PCC) in investigation of complaints from individuals and corporate organizations, information sharing and capacity building. This was disclosed when the Chief Ombudsman of the Federation and Chief Commissioner of PCC, Mr. Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, paid a courtesy call on the ICPC Chairman, Professor Bolaji Owasonye SAN, at ICPC headquarters in Abuja.
Public Complaints Commission will investigate NDAs, private, public, proactive, and systemic investigations. As much as you know, ICPC and Public Complaints Commission were both anti-corruption agencies, and related. That's why I'm here, is to seek for your synergy, which have a synergy with you, so we're practically doing the same thing. And seek, we want you to assist us as well when it comes to training.
Responding, the ICPC chairman, Professor Owasoye, said that the commission was ready to partner with PCC. Owasoye said the commission refers some complaints relating to administrative malfeasance and lapses to PCC, which are better handled by them, while ICPC in return has also received petitions from PCC which bordered on corruption. He said ICPC would be happy if PCC reverted to ICPC on the outcome of such complaints that were forwarded to them for action in order to give feedback to the initial complainants and to put closure to the cases.
I want to confirm that this is not the first time we are receiving a delegation from the Public Complaints Commission. Indeed, I think your predecessor in office was here with his team to interact with us and to also request collaboration. And we discussed that there is nothing, we are not averse to collaboration and mutually reinforcing each other's mandates. And indeed, at the moment, we actually refer a number of complaints that are sent to us to the Public Complaints Commission. We think sometimes that complaints that border on administrative malfeasance or lapses are better handled by Public Complaints Commission rather than to treat them as if they were an investigation for crime, criminality. But Nigerians don't know the difference. So they send their petitions anywhere that catches their fancy. On our website, we've tried to also include petitions, at least indication to petitioners, if it has to do with administrative issues, to route the thing to your website so that you can receive and all that. What we just like to do and to emphasize is that when you treat those petitions, we would like a feedback so that we can close, because every petition that is received there gets a number. And then we try to track and make sure that we put closure to it. So whichever way you decide, once we've decided it doesn't fall within our jurisdiction, we send it to whoever we think is best able to handle it. Our view is that every petitioner has a grievance that needs to be assuaged. They feel wronged. So if that wrong cannot be remedied by us, and we know those who can remedy the wrong, we channel it to the right quarters. We think that that is also therapeutic. For them, it will not be as if nothing has been done, or I go to ICPC. So that's why we will appreciate that when the PCC completes its, whatever decision you make, it's up to you. It's entirely based on your own professional journey. Revert to us, referring to the petition itself, so that we can close our book. It turns out that sometimes petitioners will write us persistently. Oh, I sent this petition to you, even though we've told them, oh, it's been forwarded to so place and all that. So that will help us to close the books. The second thing, of course, is you made a request about training, capacity building of your staff. We'll be happy to support. We have a training academy. I assume that given the level of our own operations, we do a lot more investigation than you do. And it's more broad-based in nature. We'll be happy to collaborate with you to train the staff of PCC in investigation, for example, and all that.
The chairman, Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Senator Suleiman Abdulkwari, has emphasized the need for improved funding for ICPC in order to enable it deliver on its mandate effectively. Senator Kwari made the remark during the defense of the 2022 appropriation proposal by ICPC at the Senate complex in Abuja recently. The committee chairman declared that ICPC was one of the few agencies of government carrying out a very special and critical national assignment and therefore needed to be funded adequately if it must rid Nigeria of corruption. He also noted that in view of how massive the mandate placed on ICPC was by its enabling law, the current envelope system of budgeting would constitute an impediment to the realization of this huge task. Kwari, who is also the senator representing Kaduna North, while advising the commission to remain focused in carrying out its mandate, pledged to do all that was required to ensure that ICPC's budget was improved upon. Also speaking at the budget defense, the senator representing Kogi West, Senator Smart Adeyemi, said that it was imperative to allocate enough resources to ICPC so that it would enable the commission expand its net in terms of physical presence across the nation. Senator Adeyemi added that having ICPC operatives at the grassroots or at each senatorial district would aid in checkmating corrupt practices at that level. Responding to some of the issues raised by the senators, ICPC Chairman Professor Bolaji Owasonye SAN explained to the committee how the commission was empowered by its enabling act to carrying out a three-pronged mandate of enforcement, prevention, and public enlightenment and education. Professor Owasonye, while also acknowledging that the envelope system was a serious challenge, revealed that the effort at fighting corruption was being escalated. The chairman also spoke on the efforts ICPC was making to getting critical stakeholders to own the national ethics and integrity policy, especially traditional rulers and professional bodies. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues. Stay with us.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go. And the focus is on the third phase of the Constituency and Executive Projects Tracking Initiative. The tracking of constituency and executive projects is an initiative of the Commission that began in 2019 in 12 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The first phase of the exercise in 2019 saw the tracking of 524 projects in 12 states and the FCT, while the second phase in 2020 saw about 822 projects tracked in 16 states. In the third phase of the initiative, which commenced recently, 1,251 projects in 17 states executed, with the 2019 and 2020 appropriations will be tracked using project geolocation and mapping to enhance the outcome of the exercise. This would include 1,024 constituencies and 227 executive projects, respectively. Mrs. Ekere tells us more about the tracking exercise and how it is faring.
Constituency and Executive Project Tracking Division, as we are called now, came about as a result of the promises made by legislators during the electioneering campaign. They have promised to bring development to the grassroots. And as a result of this, some specific projects were funded, were budgeted into the annual budget to be cited in their constituencies. And the funds for this project were domiciled in the MDAs of their choosing. Over the years, there have been complaints of shoddy completion of projects, non-completion, and sometimes non-execution of these projects at all. So that is what informed the Commission through its mandate, enforcement and preventive mandate, to come up with this idea of tracking this project so that we can ensure value for money. And when so much has been put into a project, there are huge financial releases to the project. The Commission thought it wise to track these projects so that we can ensure that they are actually implemented and implemented to specification. It's not only ICPC. We have the media joining us, the civil society organizations. We have partnership with NIQS and a lot of other agencies that are joining in the tracking exercise. It's not only ICPC. And for the impact, it has been very, very impactful. You know, people are now coming up to demand accountability from their legislators. Some of them are coming up to give us information on projects that were cited in their community. They are coming to tell us it's been done well or not done well, not done according to specification. So I think it has been so impactful. The citizens are just coming up to give us more information. They are now part of the tracking. They take it upon themselves to look out for the projects cited in their community. And with this, our campaign, the ICPC campaign of My Community, My Project, people are now owning their projects and also looking up to see that they have been, you know, done to specification. You know, phase 1 and 2, the success was so enormous. We made so many recoveries. We forced contractors back to site. So phase 3, we are looking out for more of that. You know, we saw that some of the projects were not cited. There was no need assessment in the project. So what we expect phase 3, we expect phase 3 to be better than phase 1 and 2. More of these projects should be cited when they are really relevant. Most of the project vehicles that were bought and, you know, changed to personal use, you want it to return. You want to see more projects being implemented and implemented to specification, because that's one thing. Most of these sponsors liaise with the aides and do all kinds of things. So we want it to be done according to specification. We want the people to benefit. We want MDAs to involve us in their engagements whenever they are doing tracking, whenever they are doing other projects, all these sponsors, empowerment programs. We want to be involved. We want the citizens to benefit from their representative. And that is what we expect in phase 3.
Okay.
I want to tell the citizens that my constituency, my projects have come to stay. Own up to the projects that are supposed to be cited in your environment. Look out for them. Report to the ICPC. We are ready to track these projects. We are ready to make the citizens benefit from their representative. We are ready to tell them, go back to site, because these monies have been funded for by the federal government. We are ready to work with the citizens. ICPC is quite ready to work with the citizens so that they benefit from the projects cited in their environment.
Welcome back. Although cases of diversion of projects from the first 2 phases of the exercise are being investigated by the Commission, the 2 phases led to the recovery of assets worth billions of naira to the government. Mr. Hafiz spoke to our team on some of the recoveries and the beneficiaries of these projects.
Projects as conceived by either the executive or the legislative arms are appropriated in the national budget of every year. Those projects as captured in the budget should and must be implemented, because that is the law of the land. Now, for that reason, the objective of the tracking initiative of the Commission is first to ensure the full implementation of those projects as captured in the budget of a particular year, and then to ensure that these projects are not only implemented, but they are executed to specification as provided for in the bill of quantity, and also to ensure that there's value for money. That is to say, whatever project is conceived and implemented gives value to the beneficiaries, to ensure that those projects are not over-invoiced, they are not inflated above the prevailing market price, and also to ensure that the communities, the benefiting communities, are fully engaged in the conception, implementation, and post-project management of the projects domiciled in their communities. Starting from phase 1, which was conducted in 12 states, comprising about 2 states per geopolitical zones at that time, and we took on 424 projects during phase 1, and phase 2 by phase 2, the number of projects tracked was increased to 822, also spanning 12 states. And then this phase 3, we've taken on 1,251 projects across 17 states of the Federation and the FCT. Now, from phase 1, stemming from the discoveries and the outcomes of the exercise, during phase 1, the total value of recoveries made in cash and assets amounted to over 738.6 million naira. And then there was savings to government that was made that phase 1, which came to about 2.1 billion naira. Then coming to phase 2, the total recoveries made at the time the report was released was 857 million. And the savings to government during phase 2 rose up to 3.1 billion naira. Now for phase 3, so far, it's still ongoing. We have not finished yet, but so far, the total recoveries made amount to about 874.4 million naira so far. And the savings to government computed so far is over 29 billion naira.
And executive projects through its enforcement and preventive mandate. That's our package on today's edition. Remember, you are to encourage accountability and transparency from your leaders. Make your suggestions and inquiries on budgetary provisions on projects across the country via our toll-free numbers and social media platforms as shown on the screen. See you again next week by 3:30 p.m. Thanks for watching and bye for now.